Delaware's strict gun laws. What you need to know. Welcome back. Today we're diving into Delaware's strict gun laws. Whether you're a lifelong resident or just passing by the first state, knowing these regulations is crucial. Oh, and if you concealed carry, check us out at relaxedfittactical.com for some athletic carry options. Chapter 1. Buying a gun in Delaware. First up, let's talk about purchasing firearms in Delaware. Delaware is a may-issue state, meaning permits are granted at the discretion of local authorities, not guaranteed. As of May 16, 2024, Delaware enacted a law requiring individuals to obtain a permit before purchasing a handgun. This law is scheduled to take effect in November 2025. This process includes being at least 21 years old to purchase a handgun, 18 for rifles, shotguns, completing an approved firearms training course within the past 5 years, covering safe handling, storage, and Delaware laws, submitting fingerprints and undergoing a background check through the Delaware State Police, paying the application fee, which is currently $65 for the permit, subject to change. Then November 2025 on, the Qualified Purchaser Permit, QPP, which is valid for 180 days and is required for each handgun purchase unless you meet exemptions such as having a valid concealed carry permit. Delaware does not require a permit for long guns, but all firearm sales, including private sales, must go through a licensed dealer for a background check. If you're thinking about buying a gun online, you must have it shipped to a licensed dealer in Delaware, where you'll complete a background check before taking possession. As we heard recently, a right delayed is a right denied. Chapter 2. Carrying firearms in Delaware. Delaware is a may-issue state for concealed carry permits, meaning permits are granted at the discretion of local officials. To carry a concealed handgun, you need a Delaware Concealed Deadly Weapon License, CDWL. Requirements include being at least 21 years old, publishing your application in a newspaper, yes, really, to notify the public, providing 5-character references from individuals who have known you for at least a year, completing an approved firearms training course within the last 3 years, passing a background check and submitting fingerprints through the Delaware State Bureau of Identification. Unlike some other states, Delaware does not recognize permits from many other states, so traveling with a concealed firearm requires checking reciprocity laws carefully. Delaware does not allow open carry in certain locations, such as schools, government buildings, law enforcement stations, private property where firearms are prohibited. Also, Delaware does not allow firearms in state parks or wildlife refuges without a concealed carry permit. Violating these laws could result in serious criminal penalties. But you know what's not illegal? Hitting that like button. Chapter 3. Assault weapons and magazine capacity. Delaware has a strict assault weapons ban, similar to Maryland's. The state passed the Delaware Lethal Firearms Safety Act of 2022, which bans the sale, transfer, or importation of certain semi-automatic rifles, pistols, and shotguns, including AR-15 and AK-47 variants, some semi-automatic pistols with threaded barrels, shotguns with detachable magazines. However, if you owned one before June 30, 2022, you are allowed to keep it, but you must prove ownership before that date. Delaware also limits magazine capacity to 17 rounds or fewer. Possessing, selling, or transferring magazines over 17 rounds is illegal unless you own them prior to the law taking effect. Active and retired law enforcement officers, members of the U.S. Armed Forces, and concealed carry permit holders are exempt from this restriction. Chapter 4. Private firearms sales and background checks. Thinking about selling a gun privately? Delaware makes it almost impossible to do so without government involvement. Under Delaware law, all firearm sales and transfers, whether private or through a dealer, must go through a licensed firearms dealer. This means background checks are required for all gun sales, including between friends or family members. The buyer must meet all legal requirements, age, permits, and background checks. Transfers of firearms without a background check are a criminal offense, except transfers to individuals with a valid Delaware Concealed Deadly Weapon License, CDWL, who are exempt from this requirement. The state justifies this law as a way to close loopholes and prevent gun trafficking, but we argue it burdens lawful gun owners while criminals ignore the law. Help support our Second Amendment channel and hit that like button. Chapter 5. Red Flag Laws. Delaware has an Extreme Risk Protection Order, ERPO law, commonly called a red flag law. Law enforcement, family members, or mental health professionals can petition a court to temporarily remove firearms from someone deemed a danger to themselves or others. If approved, the firearm owner must immediately surrender their weapons until a hearing determines if they should be returned. The burden of proof is lower than criminal cases, leading critics to argue that this violates due process and can be abused. Like in Maryland, opponents claim this law can be used vindictively and that confiscated firearms are often never returned, even when allegations are false. Chapter 6. Recent court rulings and what's changing now. With shifting political winds, are Delaware's gun laws changing? Let's hope. Some key developments. In late 2024, a Delaware judge upheld the state's assault weapons ban, ruling that it does not violate the Second Amendment. Challenges to the 17-round magazine limit were dismissed, meaning the restriction remains in place. A federal lawsuit is currently challenging Delaware's qualified purchaser permit system, arguing that it imposes unconstitutional delays on legal gun ownership. At the federal level, ongoing debates could impact Delaware gun laws. The Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act is being debated, which if passed would force Delaware to recognize permits from other states like Florida or Texas. A 2024 federal court ruling struck down age-based handgun purchase bans, so you still have to be 21. Chapter 7. Gun and Crime Statistics. To put all of this in perspective, let's look at real numbers on guns and crime in Delaware. Wilmington consistently ranks among the most violent cities for gun crime per capita. Since the red flag law passed in 2018, over 500 extreme risk protection orders have been issued. A 2023 study found that 85% of guns used in Delaware crimes were purchased out of state, mostly from Pennsylvania and Virginia. Delaware has issued over 40,000 concealed carry permits as of 2024. Statewide shootings. In 2024, Delaware reported fewer than 200 shooting incidents, marking the first time in over 5 years that the number has fallen below this threshold. This represents a nearly 39% decrease from the peak in 2020. Summary of Delaware gun laws? It sucks. What's your opinion? Do you think Delaware's gun laws are too strict or just right? Why? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you concealed carry, check us out at relaxedfittactical.com for concealed carry athletic gear. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.